Hi, I'm Kimi Knight and I'm a Pilates instructor. So today I'm going to be taking you through a series of exercises that you can do at home to help improve your golf. First of all, we're going to be going through some work with pelvic awareness, core strengthening, spinal mobility and all the things you need to help you perform the best golf swing ever. The first exercise we're going to do today is called pelvic tilting, and it's just going to establish a position for your pelvis which is going to be ideal for your golf swing. So hands are going to be starting on your pelvis. I want you just to recognise the relationship between the position of your pelvis and the position of your spine and the way that your core is going to activate. So we're going to begin with an inhale breath. And exhale, tilt your pelvis back so that the pressure slowly comes into the lower back. You can see I'm scooping my core muscles and they're connecting in together. As I inhale, I'm going to let my pelvis relax back to its natural position before I exhale and go again. So you'll notice as you exhale and flatten the spine, the ribs close and connect with the hips at the front. And I want you only to come back to a natural position for the spine. Continue this on for about 10 repetitions and you'll get a nice stretch for the lower back, and you'll just get to build a relationship between where your pelvis is sitting. So we want to just finish in a neutral position where we've got one hand width with no wriggle room for the fingers underneath the lower back, and we're ready to begin for our next exercise. The next exercise we're going to do is called knee openings. This exercise is going to teach us how to hold our core and our pelvis as strong while the legs are moving and causing load to the pelvis. So you're going to begin with your feet close together, gently drawing your belly button down towards your spine while maintaining your neutral spine, which we established just before. With an inhale breath, I'm gently going to open one knee out to the side, ensuring that there's no tension coming through my shoulders and my pelvis stays nice and level on each side. Exhale breath, I'm going to use my inner thigh to draw back to the other knee. Inhale for the other side. And exhale to close back in. The pelvis will want to lift on the opposite side to the knee that's tilting out. So just try to load up the muscles on that side only as much as you need to control your hips. This is very important in the game of golf that you have pelvic stability, and this is a nice exercise to bring about some awareness and achieve that. Continue on with about 6 to 8 each side. For the next exercise, we're going to start with our feet hip width apart. We're starting to move into a little bit more hip disassociation exercise. So floating one leg to tabletop position, keeping a 90-degree angle at the knee, 90-degree angle at the hip, and of course our tummy muscles are set before we even begin. I've got a neutral spine as well. I'm going to lower that leg and make sure that there's no tilting through my hips either side before I go to lift the other leg. So if you're not sure, you can always keep your hands there and feel what's going on. Exhale to lift the leg. Inhale to lower the leg. Once you feel you've got it, we'll go for an extra 6 each side, making sure that you're not holding tension through the upper back or the shoulders at all. The progression from the single leg lift is the double leg lift. So we're going to float one leg to tabletop with an inhale breath. This one challenges the core a little bit more. I'm watching my lower tummy is not going to lift as I go to lift the second leg. My exhale breath is going to help me with that. So exhale, prepare the abdominals and slowly lift the second leg. Inhale to lower the first leg, still holding the core, making sure the shoulders are relaxed. And exhale to lower the second leg. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lifting the second. Inhale to lower the first. And exhale, lower the second. If you do find that your shoulders keep jumping up, a nice little tip is to keep the arms up toward the ceiling. And that will help to disable the upper back. Make sure that you swap your legs halfway through, so you might like to do 5 on one side, 5 on the other side, and you'll start to feel your core from this exercise, certainly. The next exercise, we're going to go into some curl-ups. So interlace your fingers, take them behind your head. We're going to start to activate and challenge the core just a little bit more. Bring your elbows forward into your peripheral vision so you can just see them, and we're making sure that we've got that neutral spine still. So when you're ready, take a deep inhale breath to prepare, and exhale, feel your rib cage dragging you forward. You can think of your sternum drawing towards your belly button, making sure the head still stays heavy in the hands. Inhale to come back down. A common mistake with this one is that people will start to use their hip flexor muscles and they'll end up really tilted like that. When we're in this position, you can see my stomach is popped. I'm using my superficial muscles rather than my deep ones, and my hip flexors are taking over the role of my core. So we really want to make sure you maintain that neutral position of your pelvis and keep gently drawing your belly button down towards your spine as you're curling up. So exhale, inhale to come back down. Keeping the head really heavy. So take yourself through around 8 to 10 of these. If you want to challenge yourself a bit further, we can add in the next step, which is adding in one of those single leg lifts to tabletop position. The body will naturally want to rotate toward the knee, but try to just keep yourself in track, and we'll really be challenging those obliques that work hard through your golf swing. If you want to challenge yourself further, we'll add in the tabletop legs that we just viewed earlier. So holding the legs where they are, exhale, go for your curl up. Making sure the spine just stays in its neutral position or gently flatten to the floor. And keep the breath going, inhale down, exhale up. I'm going to take you through some bridging next, which is going to bring about some length and some flexion to the spine. So you're going to start with your hands just resting by your side and your feet hip width apart. I want you to begin with the pelvic tilt like you did before. From here, the glutes are going to really start to activate, and I want you to feel yourself peeling your spine one section at a time up off the floor and coming right up to your position where you can see a straight line from your chest to your knees. Inhale at the top, glutes are still holding on strong, and exhale, start to roll back down through the upper body, the middle back, the lower back, back to your neutral position. Inhale, breath. Exhale to tilt, scoop the core, glutes squeeze on from here. If you're feeling your hamstrings cramping at the back of your legs, it's often because the glutes are not doing enough. So squeeze them on nice and tight, and making sure at the top that your lower back doesn't start to arch and do the work for you, or else you might feel a little bit of fatigue through that lower back. We need to keep the hips tilted all the way through this exercise. Inhale to pause at the top, and exhale, keeping the shoulders pinned back, the neck nice and long as you roll back down. We'll just go through one more. Ideally, you'll go through about 10 of these all together. So inhale, breath, and exhale. We're going to go through some book openings next. So this exercise is really going to help you improve your range of rotation through your thoracic spine. So we're first of all going to set yourself up so your knees are in front, your hip is nice and long at the top, and we've got the core muscles on. The spine should be a straight line And you can use the back of your mat just to check that as well. The shoulders are stacked one on top of the other and the head's resting on a pillow or something where you've got support for your neck. So your hands will start together. We're going to begin with an inhale breath as you take the top arm up toward the ceiling. I'm following that hand with my gaze and making sure my hips and my lower back stay controlled and they stay in the same spot. Rotating out to the side. It's not about reaching to the floor, it's about controlling the pelvis and the lower back. So exhale as you rotate out. Inhale, use your core muscles to drag yourself in and close the arm. Again, inhale. Close the core, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. The next exercise is an exercise in side lying for your glute strength. So this is going to help you with the long walks around those 18 holes. We're going to start along with one leg long, the underneath leg's bent. Of course, we've got our core connected at the front and a little bit of a lift through that underneath waist. I'm taking care that my hip is nice and long at the front, at the top, so I'm not sinking through my ribs. So supporting yourself with the hand in front, setting your shoulders back, making sure you're nice and straight. From here, the leg is going to lift to the height of the hip, flexing the hip forward and keeping your spine straight. Point the toe and draw the leg back, and I'm using my glute and my core to control my spine. The most common mistake here is that people lose that hip and they start to round, and when they go back they end up arching through the spine and losing their core. So make sure that that stays stable. We're going to inhale forward and exhale back. By the time you get through 10 of these, you'll start to feel your glute already. The next variation here, we're going to take the toe, point it to the floor, roll the hip forward, tap the toe to the floor and squeeze the glute up. Tapping down and exhale up. Another 10 of these and your glute should be burning by then. You'll be ready to swap sides. The last exercise in your homework series for golf is the 4-point kneeling exercise, which is going to help get some shoulder stability, help you maintain your core as you start to move, and we're also exercising the limbs away from the core and challenging it in that way. So finding your position with your knees underneath your hips, your hands underneath your shoulders. First of all, we need to establish a neutral spine. So you're just going to lift up through the back of the head. Think of your shoulder blades spiraling externally and your belly button is gently lifting. Make sure that you don't end up rounding through the upper back. You want to think of the opposite, the chest plate sliding forward to establish that straight spine. From here, challenge your shoulder stability by lifting one arm forward without sinking through the other. So we're just trying to keep that height, and you'll feel your obliques working. So particularly this one, your right oblique if you're lifting the left arm, to stop you from wriggling side to side. We're just going to perform 5 each side before we challenge the lower body. Okay, so maintaining your shoulder positioning. We're going to slide one leg back without the spine moving or without the hip dropping. From there, squeeze your glute to lift your leg. Tap your toe down and draw the leg back in. Same on the other side. Continue on for 5 each side. Just doing a body check as you go through, so you haven't lost your head, you haven't lost your shoulders, you're not rounding, and you haven't lost your lower back. Once you've finished 5 each side, you can add in the opposite arm, so challenging your balance. Hold for 3,
2, 1. Three, 2, 1. And continue on for 5 each side. So perform these exercises, I recommend 3 to 5 times per week. And just like your golf swing, they'll improve with practice.